Let's talk about Tamil Nadu politics, which is always complex, right? Well, in that world, very few people have shot up as fast and as loud as Annamalai. I mean, we're talking about a guy who went from being a celebrated cop to the head of a major political party in the state. His journey has been, well, nothing short of meteoric. So how on earth did it happen so fast? Let's get into it. Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? A career path this steep just doesn't happen. It completely breaks the mold. It makes you wonder about his style, his strategy, and what kind of impact he's really having. So let's figure out how he pulled it off.
All right, so to really understand the politician, we've got to rewind a bit and look at the man he was before all this. His story doesn't kick off in some party headquarters. Nope, it starts on a farm and then gets really interesting in a police uniform.
Okay, so this timeline, it shows a clear pattern of a high achiever. He starts from a farming background, goes on to get top-tier degrees in engineering and an MBA, and then gets into the super elite Indian police service. And while he was a cop in Bangalore, his tough, zero-nonsense attitude earned him this nickname, Singham, which means lion. But then, in 2019, he makes this massive change, leaving a pretty amazing career behind for something totally different. And this is where the story gets really dramatic. His jump into politics wasn't some slow, steady climb up the ladder. It was more like a rocket launch. You've got to see just how fast this all happened. So, in August of 2020, he officially joins the BJP. This is day one, the starting line. Now, remember that date, because what happens next is just wild.
Just 1 year. You heard that right. That is all it took for him to go from being a brand new party member to the president of the entire state's party unit. I mean, that's an absolutely unprecedented move, and it showed that the party's top leaders had massive faith in him.
Now here's the key thing. Annamalai didn't just leave his old self behind. The Singham of the police force, well, he became the Singham of politics. He brought this really aggressive, in-your-face style to the political arena. You know, this Singham identity is so much more than a nickname. It's literally his political brand. It's this deliberate projection of strength, of fearlessness, and it's all designed to make him stand out in a really crowded field.
And you can see this Singham style in everything he does. He led this huge statewide tour, the En Mann En Makkal yatra, which means my land, my people, to get out there and connect with voters face to face. He is constantly on the attack, hitting his rivals on issues like corruption, and he's built this image of being bold, well-spoken, and just full of energy. But look, when you have a style that's so aggressive, you're bound to stir things up. His super fast rise and this confrontational approach have also led to some pretty big challenges and, you guessed it, controversies.
And maybe the biggest challenge has been winning elections himself. I mean, despite being this huge personality and campaigning like crazy, he personally lost in both the 2021 assembly elections and then again in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. It's really a stark reminder that being popular doesn't automatically get you the votes.
And it wasn't just about the elections. His actions have been put under a microscope. A perfect example of this was back in 2023 with this whole controversy over a pretty big land purchase that just blew up into a political mess.
So what you had were two totally different stories. Annamalai's side said, look, the land was bought legally for a dairy business, paid for with savings and loans. But his opponents jumped on it, accusing him of being misleading and basically turning a personal business deal into a political firestorm. This quote right here, it pretty much nails the two sides of the Annamalai coin. On one hand, his supporters, and probably even his critics, would admit he has massively raised the BJP's profile in a state where it's always been a struggle for them. But on the other hand, that exact same aggressive style that gets his base so fired up has also reportedly caused a lot of friction with other political allies. So that brings us right up to the present day. After a pretty wild ride as president, Annamalai's role is changing yet again, and it kind of hints at a new strategy, not just for him, but for his party too. So, in April 2024, he makes this big move. He steps down as the state president. Now, this wasn't him disappearing. It was more like the start of a whole new chapter for him. And what he's doing now, well, it shows a new game plan. Instead of being the main guy out front, he's kind of working behind the scenes as a key alliance builder. He's trying to bring former partners back into the coalition and get people to support other leaders. It's a really clear shift from pure confrontation to trying to build things up. And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Is this Singham style, this bold confrontational approach, the key to finally unlocking his party's potential in a really tough state? Or is that same aggression the very thing that's holding it back from building the big alliances you need to actually win? The answer to that is probably going to define his career and the future of his party in Tamil Nadu.